Alright everybody, this is part 2 of making our 44 tooth gear. If you haven't seen part 1, you should go watch it. Part 1 was making a 22 hole index plate for the dividing head, because I needed it, didn't have it. Again, watch part 1. So the only thing I really skipped was I already had the gear blank made. Basically the outside was turned, it was saw cut. I just faced it after then while I was waiting for the GoPro to charge up. So if you want to see a piece of stock get faced off, watch part 1. You'll see it happen on the dividing head thing there. Sorry buddy, it makes too much noise for camera. You can have it after. So like I said, the outside was already turned from a long time ago. I turned all the outsides when I started this project of making all the missing gears from my lathe. So now we got to put a hole in it and put a keyway in it. So we'll start at that. And I'm going back to the old camera mounted on the tailstock rather than using a tripod, because the tripod frankly just gets in my way. So put that in there up against the chuck. Like I say, we're only drilling a hole, so being inside the jaws don't mean anything. So now, what size hole do we need? Go back to metric. Close enough to 0. 18 millimeters. Or, let me see here, 708 5/10 for the Imperial crowd. I work in both. My lathe is metric, my milling machine is standard. My big lathe is standard. Really, it is the only machine that I got and have had and have worked with in metric. And I must say, now that I've learned it, it is a lot easier to machine with. I'm more familiar with standard, but I can use both. I'm ambidextrous, if you will. So we need an 18 millimeter hole. That is not a problem. So first things first, I'll like the center, and we're going to drill a center hole. Go back. Come on, GoPro time. I don't usually drill right on through with a center drill, but it's only a 10 millimeter thick plate. Alright, we're going to drill in a 11/16 hole, then bore it to size. I don't have metric drills and I don't have metric reamers yet. Oh, I don't know how many metric reamers I'll be buying, but I do have a set of up to 13mm, I think it is. Metric drills ordered whenever they get here. There we go. Nothing to it. Okay, how much can you guys see? Hey, you can see what's going on. Yeah. Tempted to move that disc out so I don't have to have my boring bar stuck out as much. She can. Okay. So bring that a little past. And we use this from part 1. Looks good. Looks good. Pick my bar back up out of the swarf. Wrong Allen key. Allen wrench, whatever you want to call it. Now, stick out is enough, but the corner of the compound here pokes out quite a bit. Don't mind the dogs. They're just idiots. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good there. Okay, that's that. Now, center height. I actually think I done pretty good there. Come on now, play nice. I think that's gonna do it. Put my feed back in the right direction. Alright, that's tight, that's in, that's tight. Don't need that fast. GoPro. I don't think you guys seen any of that first cut. Can I stick you to the side of the tool post? Yep. Excellent. Alright, let's see what we got here. $15, $16, $17, $50, and $22 is $77. $17.77. See if this thing is saying somewhat the same thing. There's a burr or something here I'm getting. $17.70. Oh no, sorry. Mike was saying 72, not 77. I don't know where I got 77 from. So yeah, 72. So 0.02 of a difference, which is like nothing in millimeters. It's around a thou. It's less than a thou actually. So the calipers weren't too far off. $17.77. So we got, or $17.72. I gotta get that number 77 out of my head. Alright, let me get pen and paper so I keep track of this. Okay. We have 0.28 of a millimeter left to go. Okay, this here is 0.10. Actually, 0.14. I'm going to try splitting it. So, we should be at 1786. $15, $16, $17, $50. Yeah, I just touched that. 50 and 35 is 85, 86. Yeah. I'm after moving that. Yeah, we're dead on. So another 0.14. Okay, should be it right there. Right on. Yep. See what the old lawyer says. $17.99. Yeah. I think this is my 18 mil broach plug. Yep. Perfect. So, that's done. Now we just broach a keyway in this. Okay, turn around and now we're at the whole 55 ton press. You really do not need a press this size for broaching. This is what I got. I honestly don't really like it for broaching because the pump that's on it is way too fast, even with this size of a cylinder on it. But I do have a little foot pump thing here that I can tee in and use that. But right now the seals are leaking in the reservoir side of it. It's got like a spring follower and a piston in there, and it's overly complicated for what it is, but it's leaking, so that's not operational right now. I need to get at that and reseal it. So I'm just going to take our time and bump that. So this would be a metric keyway, and it would be 5mm, but I got inch broaches. That's a 3/16 B Dumont, but of course I'm getting sun glare here. 3/16, like, doesn't even wiggle in there, so that's good enough. So that's what I've been using, and they fit fine. So move that back a little bit. So with any luck, turn that on. As you can see, she ain't slow. Lots of oil, because broaches are expensive. Move that block, so actually now I'll go from underneath. This is the part I hate the most about this press. That's as fast as it goes up. I think when I done this cylinder, the retract spring got like these two ends that screw into the spring, and then there's two Allen head cap screws that screw into those little adapters. There was like somewhat of an adjustment. I think when I put it together and put the screws in, they unthreaded from the spring, say. So I think she could use a little more spring tension. But it's like half an inch or so of adjustment that I would have had compared to the 13 inches of stroke this has. At the end of its stroke, that extra half inch that I might have lost shouldn't mean nothing. But it does, it still is slow. So I think it's just the way that it is. The spring is like not strong enough or something. So I just gotta put up with it being extremely slow on the retract. Which is why, I don't know if you can see it, I keeps this little quick clamp here to stick on the retract, and then I just wait. And if you're seeing a little bit of oil come down, then that is somewhat normal for these power pack cylinders or Enerpack cylinders or porta power cylinders or whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of trade names for them and manufacturer names. A lot of the ones I've used do weep a little bit. It's just a single acting cylinder. Some of them don't. I've seen them that don't leak, and I wish this one didn't, but it does. That's part of the reason why I got this press. The place that had it originally, they sent the cylinder to a hydraulic shop to get it resealed because the seals were completely shot. And they said it was non-repairable because the rod had a very, 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 very slight nick in the chrome plating, and they said it couldn't be fixed and you'd have to buy a new cylinder. So they threw the press in the garbage. Through the jigs and the reels, I found out about it, and I got it, and I bought a seal kit for the cylinder, put it back together, and it's been very best learning. There's a little bit of weeping, but I think that is coming around the cup seal, because when this was in the garbage, the cylinder was in pieces, thrown in a box. I'm lucky that I did get all the pieces with it. And the inside of the cylinder did get a bit of rusting, so I honed it out best I could with what I got. And it's not bad, but obviously I'm still getting a little bit of oil weep past. You can put 10,000 psi on it and it's not pissing out of here, so it's not too terrible. But no leaking would be nice, but I'm not gonna really worry about it. That's another thing. This thing where it can slide back and forth, it's got that going on, so I need to make up some jacking bolts to hold this tight up against here, because when it's hanging on the rollers it's not square, and then when it pushes up it cocks around and be's an idiot. So every now and then you're seeing me lift off. That's just letting things kind of go back to where it wants to be. Especially when you start getting down lower. Okay. So it's too fast extending, not fast enough retracting. I wish the retract was as fast as what it extends. So Here we go. One keyway. And we got some rust off of my V-blocks there. Shouldn't be rusty. Should be enough oil on them from the cylinder leaking. Okay, let's put this broach set away. This is expensive. And I'll head over to the dividing head for this guy. Alright, we're getting it set up. We got the cutter in the quilt and a collet. In a mandrel, or on a mandrel and a collet. Dividing head's mounted, or rotary table, dividing head, whatever you want to call it, tailstock's mounted. Center line, same thing. Put a center in there, eyeball it, and that's really, it's close enough. So, that's where that's gonna live. So now, pull that center back out. Don't need that no more. So here's our little mandrel thing I made up. Things are getting tight. Okay, set some chuck, a little tailstock in. So, that is that. So that's our setup. Center's good up and down. We got our dividing head set up with our 22 hole plate we just made. Sector set to go one hole. So now, we should be ready to start cutting. So I'm gonna get you guys on the magnet mount so this tripod's not right in my way, and we'll get cutting. Okay, we're all ready to go. I got my dial indicator down there set up for the depth. The depth is 225 times your module, in this case your diametral pitch. So that's 1.5. That's 3.375 millimeters. Alright. I just had to go back and check my math. Because on here I noticed my calculation is 2.25. I thought it was 2.157, which both are correct. 2.25 is the one you use for a 20-degree pressure angle gear, which, as far as I know, pretty well all metric gears are. The older standard gears got the 14.5-degree pressure angle. So that is correct. I thought I messed up there, that's why I went and double checked in my book. So yeah, 3.375 millimeter or 132 thou. So we got our depth and we're ready to cut, so let's do this. Call that 0. PT2. We're at 3.7 inches a minute on my table feed. See me? Oh yeah. 1, 2, 1 hole. And there we go. I'm just gonna do that 41 more times. I'll bring you back when I gets there. Just the groove, it actually goes pretty quick. 1, 2. This last one. Okay, next one more time. And nothing. 1, 2. Here we go. You're just barely rubbing. So there you have it. Just one 44 tooth gear. Slack that off, engage that. And tilt that down just so I can get the chuck wrench in there a little easier. And lay you down so I don't drop my nice new gear. And there you have it. I get that cleaned up and we'll go back to the bench. So there you have it. It's the finished gear. This one, the factory ones. Does gear things. That's my 40 tooth. That's my new 44. And the 32 I made. And the 39 that I made. So, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp these because I never ever did. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stamp this one. I don't know. I never really checked the hardness on these. These are just regular old mild steel. It's nothing fancy. I would assume it's like a 1018 or something. I honestly don't know. The way I look at it is, if these are softer than those, my homemade ones should wear out first. And because they're homemade, I can make more. But the 42 tooth that I also made, that's in the gear set permanently. It's been in there now since I pretty much got the lathe. It was very early on that I made the gears. The first one, 42 was the first one. And I got this lathe when? Probably 4, maybe 5 years ago. I can't remember now. It's been a while, but there's no like noticeable visual wear on the gear that I made first, and that one's in there day in, day out, running all the feeds, and I can't notice anything. So these ones here that are just for threading, they will last a very, very, very long time. So I'm not worried about what they're made out of, really. Truth be told, I almost made them out of like brass or something, but I couldn't really find any. So 40, 44. Where's my little 4? There it is. Get this nice and flat. $44. So there we go. We finally got a 44 tooth gear. So if I ever need to machine a 5/8 thread, now I can do it. And I got a new dividing plate for my water table. So, all kinds of improvements here today. Well, that wraps it up for this one. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, then you can subscribe. And as always, have a good one, everyone.